Should the New York Giants go out and sign Gabe Davis? We're going to talk about it on today's show as the rumors are already heating up. Before we dive into that, make sure you are subscribed to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. We put out free videos every day on Big Blue, and when news breaks, we get you guys a video. And I also just want to say thank you to every single person. 75,000 people have subscribed to this channel. It is a major accomplishment. And I just want to say thank you to every single person. We love you, we appreciate you, and we're not stopping. 100K, you're on deck. Welcome into Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Let's talk about it. Should Big Blue go out and sign Gabe Davis? He was released by the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier today, and there was a lot of people on Twitter that were caught off guard by this. Me being one of those and understanding kind of, or trying to understand why he was released. I haven't really been able to connect the dots. 6'2", 225 pounds, still just 26 years old. Seems like he's been in the NFL for longer than he has, but still a lot of tread left on those tires. He did sign a big money deal to join the Jacksonville Jaguars last free agency cycle, a 3-year, $39 million deal. Only did 1 year with the Jags, had some injuries this past year, injured his meniscus, and his season was cut short. But most notably, his time with the Buffalo Bills was when he was at his best. Played 4 seasons there from 2020, 2024, and his offensive coordinator, it was Brian Dable, and the assistant general manager was Joe Schoen. There's a lot of ties to those two fellas, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I wanted to go to this tweet from Mitch Morse, the offensive lineman for the Jags, who was on the Buffalo Bills as well. So he's been on 2 teams with Gabe Davis. And Morse says this: absolute tone setter in the locker room and on the field. Perfect culture guy. Played hurt all last year. Didn't complain about it once. Having a tough time wrapping my head around this one. As am I, Mr. Mitch Morse, and I am honestly hoping and praying the New York Giants go out and call Gabe Davis and get a deal done. I can tell you this, they're already working the phones because Joe Schoen is he might be the president of the Gabe Davis fan club. Let's go back to 2023 when Joe Schoen said this following drafting Jalen Hyatt, and a reporter said, how do you identify a receiver in the 4th round? And he said, well, with Gabe Davis, it started with his makeup. He was off the charts with the way he learned, the ability to move him around, his work ethic. He checked all those boxes, and he was a very productive receiver at Central Florida. It's not always what you can see on film. I think that's why we go and spend so much time with these kids, is to try to figure out what's the makeup. Because when you get to this level, everybody's good. What's going to give you the competitive advantage? Why is a 4th or 5th round pick going to make it? Is it their work ethic? Is it their tireless pursuit of being great? Whatever it may be, you try to identify those traits throughout this process, whether it's bringing them in on top 30 visits, going and seeing them. We talked to a bunch of coaches this week around the country, whether head coaches, position coaches, or coordinators, and getting as much information as you can on why this kid can be successful, and Gabe Davis was one of those players. Mind you, that was in 2023 when Joe Schoen was the general manager of the New York Giants. Shout out to Mike. Awesome Twitter account and an even better YouTube channel. Go support him. He clipped this, and I don't know where it was, so I can't give the credit it deserves, but here it is. At one point in his career, Joe Schoen was an area scout assigned to the Oklahoma region and developed a relationship with Josh Heupel, at the time the quarterback coach for the Oklahoma Sooners. Heupel moved on to become the head coach at Central Florida, where Gabe Davis was doing his thing. That connection with Heupel helped Bean decide to go with Davis in 2020. There's some history there, Joe Schoen said. And there's been a lot of people on Twitter that have already pointed out that Joe Schoen likes to point out that he was the one that found and pushed for Gabe Davis to be a Buffalo Bill. I want to give some love to the New York Post for this, where they found a quote back in 2022 where Joe Schoen said, quote, he clearly defined what he was looking for. And in the 4th round, there's that guy that checked all those boxes. He's done a really good job. Every staff I've been on, clearly defining what he wants, and that makes it so much easier for the personnel staff to go find those players and identify them. Again, when the value meets where we see them, you have a lot of success when you do that. Shout out to Paul Schwartz of the New York Post for that soundbite. So let's get to the nitty-gritty. Should the New York Giants go out and sign him? Obviously, Joe Shane likes him. I'm sure Brian Dable does too, as Davis's best years in the NFL were with Dable, and I'm sure Davis would love to play with Dable. Again, you look at the Giants wide receiver room. They didn't do anything in the offseason outside of adding Lil Jordan Humphrey and Zach Pascal. Yes, they did bring back Darius Slayton, but they brought in no new competition and no new potential starters. You got Nabers, you got Robinson, you got Slayton, and you got Hyatt. Outside of that, you don't got much, and I don't even know if I should have included Jalen Hyatt in that because it doesn't seem like whenever Joe Shane or Brian Dable speaks that Hyatt's a part of the long-term vision. I wish Hyatt could be the guy we want him to be. I think he can, but I don't think prioritizing the development of Hyatt should get in the way of signing Gabe Davis. What do you think? Should the Giants go out and have Davis put pen to paper to be a New York Football Giant? Type S for sign, type P for pass. I want to hear from all of the real ones down in the comments section. Davis didn't really play all that well or all that much for the Jags this year. 10 games played for Jacksonville, 20 grabs for 239 yards and 11.9 yards per catch. Did have 2 touchdowns. I don't really evaluate, or I don't really put that year into my evaluation. One, because he's 26 years old, and he did have really good years in the NFL. Go back to 2021 when he had 549 yards receiving, 15.7 yards per catch, and 6 touchdowns. The next year, 48 grabs, almost 850 yards, 17.4 yards per catch and 7 touchdowns. And the following year, his last year with the Bills, 45 grabs, 750 yards, 16.6 yards per catch, and 7 touchdowns. His career average depth of target, meaning how far are you down the field when you're targeted, that's 16.1 yards. This is someone that is a deep threat. Do not get that confused. I know a lot of people have said, well, he's similar to other players on this team. Not really. Maybe a guy like Darius Slayton. He's also someone that can excel in contested catch situations. He's 31 of 78 on career contested catch opportunities. That's a 39.7% success rate. Where that stacks up, Jamar Chase was 41.7 last year. Not saying it's Jamar Chase. We're just comparing the numbers. And a lot of people say, Marshall, we do not need Gabe Davis. He cannot catch the football. He is worse than Darius Slayton. Well, Darius Slayton had a drop percentage of 15.2 last year. Gabe Davis was 9.1, 8.2, 11.1, 8.2, and 11.4. I failed college math. I'm not a math guy. I'm a sports guy, but I think all of these numbers are significantly lower than 15.2. I don't know. Maybe you could double check me in the comments section. He's also a big-time player. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time ball games. And Gabe Davis did that time and time and time and time again for the Buffalo Bills. Go back to that 2021 postseason run. 10 grabs in 2 games, 242 yards, 24.2 yards per catch, 121 yards per game, and 5 touchdowns in 2 games. We all remember what he did to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm still watching that corner post that he put on that weak side corner when he put him in the dirt. In the following year, 8 grabs in 2 playoff games for $150, 18 yards per catch, 61 yards per game, and another touchdown. The Giants could use a guy that's played well in the playoffs. And when you talk about what he does best, if you can't see the picture I'm trying to paint, is he wants to go deep. He wants to run. 6'2", fast, strong at the catch point. Had his best years with the Buffalo Bills. His PFF grades on throws that traveled more than 20-plus yards in the air. This year, a 74.3. Still pretty damn good. 99.4, 96.7, 98.5, 98.8. 100 is the highest that you can go. Gabe Davis would be a great fit for the New York Giants. Gabe Davis would be an even better fit with Russell Wilson. What does Russell Wilson do best? Throw the ball down the field. What does Gabe Davis do best? Catch the ball when it is thrown down the field. Russ wants to air it out. He had the 3rd highest big-time throw percentage in all of the NFL last year. His average depth of target was 10th in the NFL. His deep completion percentage last year, number 1 in the NFL. And his deep PFF grade, number 1 in the NFL. I'm just a YouTuber with a pretty cool widow's peak, but I think it'd be a pretty good idea to have a quarterback that's the best in the NFL at throwing it deep and getting him a wide receiver that was once the best when it comes to catching deep passes. I don't know. You also got a quarterback that's a rookie that loves to throw the ball downfield, and I think that could be a good piece next to Gabe Davis. Davis, dart, deep, touchdowns. Get your Jackson Dart jersey today. Chatsports.com/dart. Or if you want a pass rusher's jersey to rock, chatsports.com/Carter. Support the rookies. Get their jerseys today. Both those links will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. It always comes down to what the money would be for Gabe Davis, and I'm not sure it's going to cost too much, but I already like what I'm visualizing in my head. Davis on this side, Slayton on this side, and not Wan'Dale Robinson. He will play the slot, but Malik effing Nabers in the slot. Nabers can play anywhere. But go watch the highlight tape when he was a Bayou Bengal. It was slot fade after slot fade after slot fade, then a post corner post, then a slot out, then a slot corner, then a slot post, and then a deep over. He dominated in the slot. Giants didn't have competent outside receivers last year, so Nabers couldn't play in the slot. Only did it 27.1% of the time. I'm not saying turn him into a full-time slot receiver, but he could do it. Definitely at a higher percentage of snaps than this. I'm not sure Davis is going to command big money, and I saw something on Twitter. He's willing to take a discount to rehab his value. Yeah, maybe you go back and play with the coach that you had your best years with. Or maybe you go back to Buffalo and play with Josh Allen. I don't know. I think the Giants 100% should be interested, and if I was Joe Shane, I'd be doing just about everything to get it done. Don't think it costs a lot of money, but money should not be an issue for the Giants. They can clear up over $40 million in cap space like that. If it's not Davis, there are other free agent wide receivers I would like to see the New York Giants pursue. We've talked about Keenan Allen. We've talked about Amari Cooper. We've talked about Tyler Boyd. We'll quickly go over these guys. Keenan Allen, that veteran slot receiver outside of Wan'Dale Robinson. You don't really have a dominant slot presence guy. Allen can be that in a bad year. Last year, he had 70 grabs for 750 yards and 7 touchdowns. If you're telling me we signed Keenan Allen and he does that, we're all going to be pretty damn happy. If you want another outside receiver instead of Davis, you could look at a guy like Amari Cooper. Just banged my hand on this table like 4 times already. I don't know what's going on. It freaking hurts. Amari Cooper, though, he could still play. He wasn't able to get it going with the Buffalo Bills last year, and Josh Allen, a trade midseason is always hard for a wide receiver. I still think there's juice left in the tank, and he could still produce. And if you want to go an under-the-radar name as a slot guy, I've always been a fan of Tyler Boyd. 39 grabs for 400 yards last year for Tennessee. Was best in the league, though, with the Cincinnati Bengals. A bigger slot guy at 6'2". He'd bring you some good depth and some competition alongside Wan'Dale Robinson. And the New York Giants should probably join the party. And before I even go any further, I don't want to put any respect towards Devontae Smith, new Dallas Cowboy George Pickens. Can't wait for him to be a secret agent sent from Pittsburgh to go to Dallas and blow everything up over there. But Gabe Davis is no Devontae Smith. Gabe Davis is no George Pickens. And Gabe Davis isn't a Deebo Samuel. But I want 2 good receivers. And if you can have Nabers, Slayton, and Gabe Davis with Wan'Dale Robinson, you're actually in competition. And for, in my opinion, one of the better NFC East wide receiver groups. If you want the Giants to sign a wide receiver, whether it's Davis, whether it's Allen, whether it's Cooper, Boyd, somebody else, hit that thumbs up icon and let's go. Make sure you are following me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Give me a follow. On Instagram at the same handle. Hit me up and let's go Giants.